Friday, and I think I'm gonna leave early today because it's a beautiful day, and I think it'll be nice to go on a hike or something because we live in Montana, and summer is gorgeous. So why not make the most of it, right? So I'm going to leave in a little bit. I just already have done my meditation, my journaling, all my daily stuff, and also my color journal. This is abstract painting from today. This is from yesterday. I might have showed some of you guys this yesterday as well. So this is my journal for abstract mixed media, just to be know mind and intuitively pull a few colors and make marks, see what happens. And I really, really love this type of practices. And now I'm going to do my ink wash again because this sketchbook, I have only 3 pages left. So let's finish out this sketchbook, and I'm gonna turn you around. So we're gonna do this little frog. I think it's a frog. I don't think it's a toad. Maybe it's a toad. I'm not sure. But anyways, I have to do my daily practice because I don't have a lot of time being, let me put on my glasses real quick. I can't just paint. Maybe I'll show you the paintings that I've been working on. I want to finish that painting and that one, my portrait paintings, and I need more time if I'm gonna squeeze out all the oil paint and things like that. So I don't usually have time lately. I don't have that much time to work on my large paintings, so I would do, I'll just keep my sketchbook work and my daily practices going just so that I keep, at least I am still doing some artwork, and that just makes me happy to at least do something, right? If I can't do a big, large painting, like something impressive and fun or productive, whatever, I'll do something just to keep me connected to my art. And my daily journals and meditations are very important to me because I feel like art is about the state of mind, and having the right state of mind is so important to keep some kind of whatever practices, or some people like to exercise or go for a walk or whatever it is that makes you stay connected to yourself, keep you happy and healthy, is important to make it a priority in life. And art is very important to me to keep my practices going, is very important to me. Even if I'm not creating work that I can sell, it's more about keeping this connection to myself, keeping my daily practices, and keeping my mental health and state of mind in check, that kind of thing. I think it's very important. Health is the most important thing for everybody. I think if you don't have your health, then you have nothing. So make sure you take care of yourself, prioritize whatever makes you happy is very important. It's not always about productivity or success. um, whatever the society tell us that success is. It's different for everybody, and we need to be able to define that for ourselves and be very clear what makes you happy, what is success to you looks like, and go after that. um, yeah, I feel like a lot of people are a little bit lost, and they're doing things, going after things they think will make them happy, but it's not even what they really want in life, that kind of thing. But doing meditation or working out or art or writing keeps you connected to yourself, make you question things, and I think it's really important to have that strong connection to yourself, to your soul, to your heart. Anyways, that's what I think. That's why I am happy just to do a quick ink wash today and then go on a hike with my husband, spend some time outdoors, getting some sun. That is a beautiful, successful day for me. All right, can you guys tell what I am painting right now? I don't think I've done ink wash, oops, of a frog before. I think it's a frog. It might be a toad. Can't tell. All right, so this guy is doing some kind of pose that is a little bit tricky. Let's see. Almost like a contemplation. It's kind of freaky when I'm looking at the texture of the skin with all of these bumps. It kind of makes me feel what is this feeling? It's kind of yucky. I don't like lizard. I hate geckos because we have this huge ugly geckos in Thailand. If you ever seen one, you will know that they're so freaky and scary. Also, they don't run away from you, so usually you'll be surprised when you go into like a bathroom in the countryside. You shut the door and then surprise, a giant gecko right in front of your face behind the door. And then now you're stuck in the toilet and you don't want to get close to the door to open it because the gecko is right there. And they have this like spotty skin with blue and red dots on them, and they're huge. And then if you try to like shoo them away, they'll like open their mouth like they're gonna bite you, and they're not like scurrying away. They kind of like stand their ground and they want to fight you. That's why they're so freaky and they're so ugly. So this reminds me of geckos, and it's kind of giving me a hard time right now. I don't want to look at the bumpy skin. Ooh, I'm actually regretting painting this. I have a little bit of a phobia because I have many encounters growing up with the geckos, and so I can't even look at a photo of a gecko. And this is giving me gecko so badly. I am trying not to think about it because all these bumps on the skin and ugh. I know people have pet geckos here, but the geckos that they sell here in the pet stores are kind of cute. They're not like the Thai geckos. So if you're curious, you can Google it, but do not send me the photos of the geckos because I would scream and I would run away. It gives me nightmares, so please don't. I guess it's not very smart of me to air my secret to the world. Anywho, let's go in with darker ink now. This is going to give it a contrast and will make the painting pop. So let's add some more water. Whoops. Okay. The most important part of a portrait, animal portrait, I feel is the eye. So always focus on the eyes. So whatever painting you're doing, you want the most detailed part over here. You want to make sure you get all the details right. And then nose, face, the mouth, the lips. That's like the most important area of the painting to focus on. And then the rest you can kind of paint them loosely. I kind of like the contrast of detail and looseness. It makes the painting more interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's impressive if you can paint or draw something super realistic, just like a photograph, but then why not have the photograph? So for me, it's a little bit boring to look at a painting that looks just like a photograph. I like drawings and painting that has some flair, I guess. A loose painting, something where like it's very honest. You're just creating, you're not overthinking. You're just let whatever happens very intuitively. And a lot of times I feel like interesting things happen. The color you choose in the brush strokes, the line work, um, it just gives it a more personality of the artist, and it's very interesting to me, even for myself, because I don't even know what's going to happen with my drawing, my sketch, or my paintings. Usually it's a fun surprise. So now the eyes popping, and now the mouth. It's important part of the face, so going to be high contrast over here. I'm going to go in again with the details and all the bumps later, but I am not excited about the bumpy skin of this. I don't want to look at it really, so I might not do too much with that. Really kind of grows me out a little bit. I think I'm going to wet this area and then do like little bumpy thing like that, but let the ink um, feather out and mix with the water, with the wet paper, because it will blend a little bit better or softer. And also, I like the surprise element of the ink flow with the water, with the wet paper. I need to dilute the ink a little bit so I can blend this area. Right now I'm just doing the high contrast, like the darkest part of the frog or the toad, I don't know. And then I can go in and blend in the gray area of this. Okay, let's get some flare going, so not too careful about the brush strokes, because because this area is around the edges, the perimeter of this is the focal point, and the rest can really be very loose. That's how I like it, because it creates really interesting painting when you can feel the looseness down here, or like the, I don't know what you call it. Oops, that's the dark ink, but this area is supposed to be in the shadow, so it's really dark underneath here. So I can fill in this area really dark, and then it'll blend into gray and the highlights up here. But oh my gosh, I really don't like to look at this bumpy skin at all. Really, really freaky. All right, I'm gonna dilute the ink a little bit because this one has to be blended. So you can see I'm just not really focusing on all the little details, like the little bumps and how it's supposed to look. I'm just feeling where the painting feels like, just kind of let my brush move however it wants to move. Okay, this is the dark area again, so I'm gonna go in here. Dark. And then we're gonna blend in this part. I'm looking at the darkest part of this painting right now and just make sure I have that filled in so that this painting will pop, because the contrast is what makes the painting feels like 3D. A lot of times people are afraid to do a high contrast painting, or they can't see the values properly, and that kind of ruins the painting a little bit. So if you can get the values, I guess you have to get the values right, and then you have to get the proportions of the whatever you're painting correct, and then that would be good. And then after that is all about the flares of the brush strokes, or texture, and whatever else you're gonna add to your paintings. I'm just making like suggestions to the bumps and oops, the texture of this frog. I'm not really make it so accurate. I'm just suggest that the skin is bumpy, so little bumps. Okay, now we're gonna blend in this area. Like I said last video, my last live, that I'm gonna get my rotator cuff surgery done in a few weeks, so I won't be online at all. I won't be able to do any kind of art for a while. That's why also I'm not working on my large paintings right now because I feel like I'm gonna be gone, and I don't like to leave my work untouched or worked unfinished for too long. I also don't want to start when I know I can't finish because I won't have time. And that's why I'm just doing like little fun sketches here and there just to keep my art um, going. So that's too dark. See, just a little bit of a suggestion of the bumpiness. Kind of look gross, isn't it? I don't like the bumps at all, but can't make the skin too smooth. All right, so let's get a mixture going here. A little bit more ink. I just kind of feel it out how much water I need to apply to my ink, and sometimes I go on the paper like this and I'm like, oh, that's too dark, then I just dip more water in there. I don't really prepare proper solution for this because it doesn't have to be so precise. Just kind of intuitively feel it out, not overthinking, just playing, having fun, just having fun. That is the most important thing. Why I paint, I want to enjoy myself. If it's too stressful or too serious, I think the painting will suffer also. And why would you do that to yourself? I think the most exciting artwork are the ones that the artists have the most fun. They're really, you can really tell they're just playing, experimenting. A lot of times are like the ones that surprises you the most because you're not expecting anything, and then you're like, wow, that turns out so nice. All right, let's see. This is the I think this image is AI modified, so the frog is making this gesture like human, putting this, do you call them fingers? Making this very human gesture. What can you tell? Yeah. So I'm just making sure that I have this area part right, and then I can go in and blend in different areas where it needs some blending, because see this big contrast. Sometimes it's good to leave the contrast too because it's more interesting to look at. When it's all the same detailed, it doesn't stand out as much. So it's good to have to leave really high contrast area, or like areas where you don't even paint and you just leave it right next to the area where it's super detailed. The contrast of everything is important. Contrast in the values, the lights, and the texture. It really makes for interesting painting. So also, like, being true to your feelings. If you feel like working in, like, making this painting super detailed because you're enjoying it, then follow that. And if you're just in the mood for doing something really loose and quick, just follow that as well. You don't want to force yourself to do anything you don't feel like doing when it comes to artwork. That's how I feel. You just really learn to follow the feeling inside of you or intuition, and that's when you have great results. That's when I have great results, when I'm not forcing anything, let things flow naturally. And that's why I meditate or journal or go on a hike and things like that, because I wanted to be able to get into the flow state, feel my intuition really clearly, and that is very helpful. In so many different ways when you can um, access your flow state for sports, for life, for art. Also, when you're not stressed, you will live longer and be healthier because you are not stressed. Stress is the worst thing for a human being. I think it makes you look old, make you sick, and you end up, I don't want to say die too soon, but I believe that that's why people don't live as long. Are the people who are super stressed, they get really ill, and then they die young, that kind of thing. I think that's why people don't live as long. Not for everybody, obviously, but for the most part. All right, this part is so bumpy and ugly, I don't even want to look at it. I'm gonna do it quickly. Just I think that let me look at it real quick. I think this is overall good enough, and if I wanted to and I feel like it, I could go in with my fountain pen and really, like, because you see the line, the oops, this is like fude nib, so I can create really fine lines if I wanted to. Let's see, like that. And oops, I can also create really thick lines. So oops, if I flatten it against the paper like that, then it will become a thicker line. But like here, I can really go in and put in all the details that I see and create this area to be super realistic, and then leave the rest very loose. I like to do that with my paintings, so the contrast is very interesting for me to have that very detailed and then very abstract right next to each other. So I could just spend a little bit more time working on this area, because I said before that the eyes are very important. You get the eyes, the face, the nose, the mouth. The rest can just be anything. You just want this area to be really good. So I can add details on this side as well, but I don't know if I want to really, because one, I don't like the frog that much. They're scary looking. They're not cute. And two, I want to go hike now. It's getting late, so I better be packing up and leave. But let's finish this side. Anyways, this is just like a fun, quick, easy, no stress daily artwork that I like to do. And I like to just hop on here to hang out with whoever is out there in the world. It's kind of fun to connect to strangers sometimes and share my little knowledge that I have. It's really good feelings that I could be adding a little bit of value to other people. Makes my day. A lot of times I do my art, I mean, most of the time I do my art alone, obviously, but I think it's more exciting and fun to just do a live drawing, a sketch. I don't even know if my sketch will turn out good or not, and it is exciting. Can you imagine I'm doing live right now and then I fail in a big way? I'm like, oh my god, that is such an ugly, ugly drawing. That could happen. That probably happens before. I don't know. There's this, I think it's like a nostril. So the eyes detailed, and then you want to make sure the details are there for the nose, and then the lips, right? And then I can go in as much detail as I want. But like I say, I think this is good enough for a little froggy. I don't think I want to add so many bumps and lumps. They're so ugly. I could just blend in this area a little bit because it's coming out of the shadow, so it's supposed to be a little bit of a gradient situation. I'm out of ink. My ink is dry. I don't know if I want to fill up with more ink because I'm leaving. But yeah, can detail this area, this area, this area, and then the rest just leave it. Alrighty, thank you for watching. See you next time. Let's look at up close. Yesterday I did the before I leave, the worst live horse painting because I don't think I was in a, well, it's not too bad, but I don't really love it. Did it quickly, and these are so fun. I have 2 more, and then we're done with this sketchbook, and then I'm gonna do a sketchbook tour, I guess. This is all ink. I wanted to learn to use fountain pen and ink, so I started this book last year, end of last year, and I was doing only sketches with fountain pen at first, and then after a while I felt I did some collages and stuff too, but this is also fountain pen but with a different color ink, and this is watercolor with some ink. And then I started to play around with ink washes, and I just kind of intuitively try it on my own. I didn't really have anybody to teach me how to do it properly. I just started to play around with ink and water. And so this whole sketchbook is all about ink, like I said. Usually there's some pages that this is fountain pen also. But anyways, I have learned a lot about using ink, especially ink washes, and yeah, I'm gonna start the second sketchbook probably next week for continue with just ink. I think it's very, very unique to use ink. I do mix watercolor with ink, but I really, really love using ink. I love how it looks, how it feels. I love fountain pens, like I said. So I'm gonna experiment more with ink and maybe using more watercolor and see, like this is when I use watercolor with ink to see what happens. I really love this one. That one is just fountain pen. But you can really do a lot and it's just simple, you know? Just one pen and ink. That's it. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Bye.